Welcome to Making Money with Laura Sanders, a name you can trust. With over 20 years of real estate experience and selling over 150 homes a year, Laura Sanders is the #1 RE/MAX agent in the state of Florida for 2021. Join us each week as we discuss how to make money through buying and flipping homes to renting versus selling and everything in between. To join the conversation, call in live 888-994-4995, Studio A.
Hi, and welcome to Making Money with Laura Sanders, and I am your host, Laura Sanders. Every week we talk about something that might help you save a little money or help you to make a better decision so you don't lose money. Today we're going to talk about, so you want to be a realtor. What does that entail? What's that going to cost you? So let's get into that. Today we're here with Freddy, not Freddie Mercury though.
Not quite.
And we're going to talk about, what does a realtor really do? Most people think that we don't work, our jobs are flexible, and we rank somewhere right around used car salesman, lawyer. No?
In that order?
Actually, I think that they give people give more respect to lawyers, 110%, but then they think that people talk bad about them. People always talk bad about realtors. I think a realtor and a buyer or seller, I think that we need to work together.
And
personally.
you always measure a good realtor by success, not the amount of work that you put into getting towards success.
No, people don't even look at that, nor do they know. And most times, by the time you've met someone, they don't know where you've been before. They only know where you are today, unless you tell them something. But somebody put out a really interesting article, and there's a lot of talk about real estate commissions, and I'm really not going to get into that. I don't want to harp on the recent lawsuit, but I do want to talk about what we do. Our value, right? So in this article, they talk about, so you want to be a realtor, right? They say there's a lot of talk in the news about real estate commissions, saying they love what they do, and they do it because they love helping people, which is kind of funny that they say that, because I'm a licensed psychotherapist, and that's what I went to school for. I have a master's degree as a...
I didn't know that.
You didn't know that?
No.
I'm a licensed psychotherapist. I went to school to help people. When that decided it didn't want to pay me, I was like, okay, let's try something different. And then I went to school for a month at nighttime while I was working my full-time job. But they say but there's almost always a huge misconception on what they do and how they get paid. And it's not a secret, so here you go. So they're telling you how a realtor gets paid, right? Now, there's fallacies out there. I've had clients that said to me, well, doesn't RE/MAX pay for your gas?
Uh-huh.
Have you ever heard that one?
That's funny.
Yes, I get that one all the time. Doesn't RE/MAX pay for your gas? And I'm like, no, they don't. RE/MAX doesn't pay for the marketing that I do. If somebody's had a bad experience with a RE/MAX agent, they're like, oh, I'm not going to hire you because I had a bad experience. I go, you hired the agent. You didn't. RE/MAX, yes, we're great internationally. We are the largest real estate company in the world. So if you want that international, coverage, you're going to get that for sure. But to say that we, I'm not going to hire you because you work for RE/MAX, don't let that stop you. Just don't hire that agent again. So, so they say the average full-time realtor's earnings last year was, do you have any idea?
40, 50,000?
31,900 at 40 hours a week. Notice I wrote full-time, 40 hours, not 0 to 20 hours a week, which is well below the living wage. As a realtor, they do not get paid an hourly wage or salary, and they only get paid if they sell a home and it closes. So all the time, all the showings that you do. So when you end up buying a house with another realtor after another realtor's shown you a lot of homes, and you've taken away their weekends from their children, if they have children, I want you to remember that. Most people don't think about you know, oh, well, they showed me 20 homes, but I ended up going to open house and buying directly with that realtor. I want you to think about all the time that you took away from their children.
Yep, time down.
Yeah.
And you can't get that back.
No. And the gas, I mean, gas at one point was like $6 a gallon, and, you know, buyers are like, oh, I want to go here, I want to go there, right? One time I heard an agent tell the buyer, pick me up. And then it says, okay, so it says, do not get paid hourly wage or salary, and they only get paid if they sell a home and it closes. They can only get paid by broker to broker. As an agent, you could work with someone days, weeks, months, years, and no guarantee of a sale ever. So it's a good point that buyers, just like sellers, should be signing contracts with us.
Yes.
So it says essentially they wake up each day unemployed, going on job interviews, because that's what this is. Every day I go out and I interview to sell you a house or sell your house, right? And they can deal with and they have to deal with constant rejection. They dedicate time away from family. We use our gas. We pay for babysitters, which is true. I've done it many times. Miss dinners and weekends, and rarely take vacations. They are on 24 hours, 7 days a week. I mean, I'm on more than my OBGYN. And my OBGYN has said that to me. You constantly need to be on, or you will miss an opportunity. So if you tell somebody, well, I can't do it today, they will go find somebody else to do it. I just found out today that a friend of mine sold their house, and I had reached out to them. In fact, 2 or 3 months before, we had texted, and I texted today, hey, my friend, I just want to make sure you got my invitation to my party. Oh, we moved in May. Now I went on a cruise with this person.
Wow.
Imagine. Friends, right? So it says, essentially they wake up each day unemployed, going on job interviews, dealing with constant rejection, right? Saying that, okay. And then it says, once they close a home, half goes to the other person's agent from the remaining half, and they have lots of upfront expenses that they must pay out before even getting paid. So what are those expenses? This is, most people don't think about this. And even sometimes I forget about it and realize that sometimes I'm working for like next to nothing. And everybody's like, thinks you make so much money, right? You have your broker splits and fees. And RE/MAX is not cheap, by the way. Office rent and utilities, MLS fees, NAR fees, local association fees, E&O, which you definitely need, extended auto insurance coverage, self-employment tax, state licensing fees, advertising fees, showing service fees, website fees, assistant salaries, not everybody has one of those, but I do, showing partners, let's see, transaction coordinators, yard signs, photographers, videographers, office supplies, business cards, property flyers, electronic lock boxes, continued real estate education, legal fees, gas. Oh, and don't forget, they don't take income tax out. So you got to be really good about putting aside 25 to 30%. And some people have to put away more because they're in a higher tax bracket, because I never get this. The more you make, the more you have to pay.
The more you have to pay.
But it's not, I get you have to pay more, but I mean more. Like, it's not like,
It's a big difference.
yeah, it's a big difference. You go from, if I make 100,000, now I pay 20%, but if I make 200,000, now I have to pay 40%. Like, that doesn't make any sense to me.
How much
You're
do
penalized for working hard.
yeah, which discourages you. How much do you think you give up percentage-wise on a sale? 10%, 20%, 25%?
Well, more than that, because think about it. First of all, my tax bracket's high. So
Well, that's here, this tax bracket. So let's say that you're paying 20% tax.
I'm paying more than that.
Okay, 25%.
More than that.
You better get an account to 30% in tax. And that's probably because of the way it's set up. Okay, so you got 30% in tax, but how much of these expenses on top of that 30%?
Well, I have to market.
Do you think you give up another 30? So you're working for 40% on a sale?
And sometimes, remember, you have to take in consideration the people that you do work with that you don't sell them something.
That's right. That's called time down because you have to add all that up before you get to the sale.
Yep. So, and then guess what? I'm a 1099.
That's right.
So guess what I don't get?
Benefits.
Right.
You have
So
to
who
pay
pays
your
for my
own.
health insurance?
You do.
Right.
If you
And I
want
don't
that.
get a group plan. Like that stuff, oh my God, we get so many texts all day long. Like, do you need health insurance? First of all, I'm sorry, that's BS. Like, there's no discount. There is no discount. But,
Maintenance on your car. Who pays for that?
oh, me. And that's the funnier part. So I've had my car 3.5 years. I have 80,000 miles on it. I will go from Miami to basically Vero. I think I need my head examined.
And you enjoy what you do.
I do. And
Then why do you do it?
well,
I mean, you're the psychotherapist. You tell me, why does more people today are becoming realtors?
because they think it's flexible. They think it's easy.
But it's expensive to be flexible. Are you
It
going to
is.
work for 10, 20% of a sale at the end of the day with insurance and everything else? Who does that?
Me?
Unless you have a
Oh,
number.
I snorted and just I snorted.
Yeah, unless you have a number of houses, like if you sell 10 houses in a month, which is abnormal. I mean, I don't think even you sell 10 houses in a month, or maybe you do.
I do.
That's why people want to do it, because they see that you're doing 10 houses a month, and they says, if Laura could do it, why can't I?
I try to tell that to people when I'm like doing something with electronic signatures, and I'm like, if I could do it, you could do it. And it's like, but yet with electronic signatures, they feel like they can't, but everybody can be a realtor because I can.
But they're missing the point.
I get it.
To be a good realtor is not the same as being a realtor.
Correct, and everybody is a realtor. Have you ever noticed, go back and start watching, like I think Matt LeBlanc on Friends, I think he's a realtor.
Yeah.
You never noticed that before, did you?
No, I saw it.
But I'm saying you never noticed all these people like Modern Families. The dad's a realtor.
Yes. Yeah, that's true.
Santa Clarita Diet.
Yeah.
They're realtors.
Yeah. That's true. I never noticed.
Start
that.
paying attention to all the shows. In order for these people to be home, I guess, in the daytime and not
They have
coming
to be
home, they
realtors.
got to be a realtor. But you know what's funny thing is my neighbor tracked me down the other day and she's like, I never see you. Like, you're never home. I'm like, yeah, I go to the office every single day and I work. And even on the weekends, I'm working. So I say we go to a commercial break, we come back, and I want to talk about all the other things that we do that comes down to when you're actually going to list somebody's home, because people just, they don't give us credit.
Or do you mean people don't roll it out and say, here, come list my house?
You know, funny though, people do advertise. Oh yeah, we'll get you leads. Come list our house leads. Okay. You know, I'm almost 50 years old. Like, I've done all that. So anyway, we'll be right back. We're going to check out our sponsors. And when we come back, we're going to talk more about what do us realtors do and is it easy to do what we do?
Whether you're buying, selling, refinancing, or building your dream home, you have a lot riding on your loan specialist. Max Fish, a top 1% mortgage loan officer in the nation, will give you a same-day qualifying quote. Max Fish is committed to providing his customers with mortgage services that exceed their expectations. Ensuring that you make the right choice for you and your family is his ultimate goal. Contact Max Fish today at 954-729-6933 or max.fisch@nwmcorp.net.
At JK Closing Attorneys, we do all of the same things that a title company does, but with the benefits of being a law office. We can help with residential real estate, short sales, commercial real estate, refinances, 1031 exchanges, and FRIPTA withholding.
Contact JK Closing Attorneys today at 954-332-3111. Again, that is 954-332-3111.
You have been watching Making Money with Laura. For more information, contact Laura Sanders at 954-650-0827 or visit her website at thelorasell.com. And now back to the show.
Hey Hey everyone, and welcome back to Making Money with Laura Sanders. I am your host, Laura Sanders. It's a good thing I am Laura Sanders and I am the host, because it'd be kind of weird that I'm on this show,
And you're
right?
a realtor.
And I'm a realtor still.
How long you been doing it?
23 years, but I've been buying and selling for about 27. I just sold my first property I ever bought 2 weeks ago.
The one that you bought for yourself?
My first one I ever bought when I was 20 years old.
Really?
I just sold it.
I can't believe you parted with it.
So it's a condo. I thought it was poorly run.
You got rid of it.
I decided that, you know, I'm that landlord that I don't want to interrupt people and just say, you know what, you should move out, I'm going to sell it. So I decided that when the tenant said they were moving, I was going to put it up for sale and for rent, and whatever came first or was ever the best. And the feedback was horrible on the rent. Oh my God, the complex looks horrible. Oh my God, the complex looks horrible. And I just took it as a sign that, you know, after 28 years, like, it was time to, more than 28, like, it was time to let it go.
So you sold it. You didn't rent it.
I probably could have rented it. I probably put it for an unrealistic rental price. So I think subconsciously I wanted to sell it. But yeah, it was definitely, because it was, you know, I think it got to the point, like, you know, my dad's passed away it's been about 8 years since my dad passed away. My dad had changed the air conditioning out. And I think once the water heater went that he'd put in, so I'd been through 2 air conditioners, 2 water heaters, like, that's a lot. And when it was time, when we changed the second water heater, I was like, okay, it's not the one my dad put in. So, like, I let it go.
No sentimental value?
My husband was never going to live there.
Why?
The complex didn't look good.
And she sold it.
I sold
And
it.
if you bought it, don't look at the show.
I doubt that they will, because I didn't sell it to them.
Oh.
So, talking about, you know, all the things we do. So we talked about some stuff, but people don't realize that as a listing agent, you know, they think we just put it on the market and it just sells. And I think that's part of what the lawsuit was about. Realtors posting that I sold something in a day or in 1 hour, like, that was a fluke for, you know, COVID. People were coming from Tennessee, from California. They were selling big houses, and could get not even big houses, like expensive houses, and they could come here and get a bigger house for less money. So they were bidding up our houses. And, you know, we're probably going to see something like that again come mid-24 if interest rates come down.
And how is that front looking right now? Are they been talking about lowering the interest rate? I thought that they
So
said
they put a
frozen.
pause on it, and they're going to come back and talk about it in mid-December. It's about a 15% chance that they'll raise the rates a little bit more, but we're pretty close to like 8% right now.
Right. So
And if you don't have good credit, you're going to be somewhere around 8.25, 8.5. Like, so you have to have pristine credit to be at that 7.75, 8%.
What do you do with people who have bad credit? Have what they call
I do have a credit.
soft
I have a credit repair person that's excellent. Definitely recommended by one of the credit unions that I do business with. So a lot of people are always worried that they're going to take advantage of them, that it's not real, that they're scam artists, and that's not the truth. You do need to, you know, there are a lot of those people out here, a lot of credit repair people out there. I can't tell you that everybody's a good credit repair person, but I do know somebody that I definitely trust. He helped somebody that I know help them, you know, and there are little tricks of the trade to help you to get your credit up.
But that's what makes a realtor successful, is all these little tidbits that you know.
But it takes
to help
time.
people. No, I understand.
You know,
that.
it's not like you wake up one day, like, it's so funny. I remember the first time I had to write a contract and I was like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, freaking out, right? And it's funny, you look back on so many things you've done in your life and you're like, I can't believe I freaked out. Just like I tell somebody when you're buying a house, right? I say to them, right now, it's overwhelming, especially if you're going from like a condo to a house, right? And so you go to the house and you're like, well, I don't know if I can afford this. I don't know, you know. In 10 years from now, you're going to be happy that you did this. But today, you're not going to be comfortable.
Right. What is at the beginning but fear? That's all you have is fear.
And as you should.
It's normal.
Like, go back to when you were 8 years old. Okay, 8 years old for me is different for 8 years old, and for you is different than what an 8-year-old today.
Yes.
Right? 8 years old, I'm walking up to Union Turnpike in New York on a not Main Street, I mean main street, like crazy, right? Taking the bus, I'm jumping all around, asking the bus driver for transfers. Like, I knew how to maneuver it. Now I'm like, you're not gonna find me on a subway in New York by myself. I'm scared to go by myself. Like, and you know, you're talking 40 years later, and I'm like, I don't know. I think I should just not do that. That's not safe.
It's changed. Things have changed.
It's changed, but fear changes as you get older, right? But, you know, buying your first house, like, of course you're going to be scared.
You should be.
You're going to be scared. You should be. But are you going to make more money? Most people do. You're
supposed to.
Right. And you know what? You're worried about interest rates. Well, we have great opportunities, buy down programs. I highly suggest you buy now and refinance later. We definitely have great lenders that are willing to do the refinance later other than hard costs, which that's not that big of a deal. It's easier to pay hard costs than to have to go and bid against other people because once the interest rates come down, then everybody's going to start looking, and that's going to create the prices to come up again. So for me personally, I think people should definitely make the decision, you know.
So that's why realtors get into the game. You just described it. See, the information that you've accumulated over time is the reason that people want to stay in the game. Can they stay in the game? Can they become the lawyers of tomorrow? Because you've been successful in real estate. And this is why people do it. They think that there perhaps is another way, that if they can stay in the game, they'll be able to sit like you're sitting here. Now, you do a lot of different things, including having your own show.
Yeah. I keep myself highly entertained.
But the object of the game, you're also valuable to anybody looking to sell or buy a house.
And I will tell you that if you have a realtor and your house isn't selling right now, I'm more than happy to come out and take a look and, you know, obviously can help coordinate. There would be a fee, obviously. You don't have to use me as your realtor, but I'd be willing to come in and tell you what you need to do to get your home sold at Top Dollar. I'm very good at that. I'm very good at having the people to coordinate, you know, getting your home to sell at Top Dollar. So, you know, that's definitely something else. And, you know, I did want to go over too, you know, because again, people think that we don't do anything. So let's go back to because we only have like 2 minutes, and just basically say, so if I'm selling your home, what do I have to do? I have to prepare the listing agreement, right? The presentation, research the seller's property tax information, research comparable sold properties, do the numbers on that, determine average days on the market, gather info from sellers about their home, meet with the sellers at their home, get to know their home, present the listing presentation, advise on repairs or upgrades, provide the home seller a checklist of things to do, which I do all the time, and I keep going back out to make sure that they're ready, which I'm going to do that right after this today. Explain current market conditions, discuss the seller's goals. Let's see, share, you know, value, basically share our value proposition and explain the benefits of our brokerage, present our marketing options that we use, explain video marketing strategies, demonstrate 3D tours, marketing, explain buyer and seller agency relationships, describe the buyer pre-screening process, which is pretty in-depth, and we could talk about that with Max. You know, create internal files for transactions. Oh my God, if you have a condo, oh my God, getting all that information, making sure that the budgets meet the guidelines. Selling a condo is a lot more than selling a house with no HOA. Provide seller's disclosure forms, verify interior room size, obtain current mortgage loan information, confirm lot size. I'm not even done it. I mean, I can go on, and I have that, and that will go up until about 90. And I only went over like the first 15.
And that's just one property.
Yep. Because it even says, it's like, even going backwards, like, close out the seller's file with the brokerage, change the status in the MLS, pick up the sign, the lockbox, attend the seller's closing, resolve any last minute issues, which there's always issues, confirm the repairs have been made, review the closing figures, receive careful review of closing documents, make sure that they weren't overcharged, making sure that their taxes are right. We have so much.
You're
so
out of time.
I'm out of time. So with that being said, if you're looking for a top agent, give Laura Sanders with RE/MAX Direct a call, 954-650-0827. Any questions you have, give me a call. Can't wait to see you guys next week. Again, laurasells.com, and let me make it a great day for you.
Thank you for tuning in for Making Money with Laura Sanders, a name you can trust. To join the conversation, call us at the studio, 888-994-4995 Studio A, or contact Laura directly at 954-650-0827. Laura Sanders, a name you can trust. We look forward to seeing you